you've been traveling all over the place recently. Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry, I'm quite alright. It's just, as I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, I am still very much in good...
How difficult is it to transfer the...
Oh, well, you see, historically speaking, the Genshin, we also want to keep any perspective. For these reasons, the incompetent shoot.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then...
Correct. Unfortunately, not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my back.
Oh? Who is it?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this.
It's Yeon!
Jackpot. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get...
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too.
All right then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tien, you say you're into...
Huh?
I'm not opposed to the idea. So, how about this? If you're...
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Meet me on the first floor when you're... Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. How's the new... Oh? You're all set?
Uncle Tien seems really worn down.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tien is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Chenwei, Mingbo. Chenwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of... Try to keep all that in mind.
Chenwei, Mingbo, Jui.
Let's leave that until we get to you. All right.
Got it. We'll keep up.
Are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have that's called
Oh, come on. All right, you Tianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, look, how about this?
Fine.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them. I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second, writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow. One of them...
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu, failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to... There's still some time. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know. Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regret. That's for me to... We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one...
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so you two are the I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us. I trust you've read through my manifesto. I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to...
Mind your tone, Miss.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a cloud retainer. You know this Adeptus? With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Please, and...
I'm, Ming. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in... My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for,
Is it just pineapple?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and...
Oh,
Hello. Not gonna lie, what would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have...
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from, but I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself. Of course, two different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might...
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your...
A great question. Well, I'd start by having... If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results...
Nice answer.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and...
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Shenwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many... But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about... Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. But he and Shenwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not...
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't...
Last but not least, Zhi. His manifesto is full of pertinent details. His methodology is... The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with...
Great!
We'll see. All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Zhi...
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of... Those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that... But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Guo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Zhi was with me for the longest duration.
Oh, so how did you get...
Chen Wei was a third. We first met while Zhi came from... He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got off quiet. And now the young are growing up. I am growing...
I don't know, Uncle Tian. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have...
Oh, you. There's really no need to
Sounds like you should.
There's nothing quite,
Fresh fish soup.
doesn't it? When we've been fishing, that flavor makes for a fond memory.
Ooh, can
Let's skip that.
Mm-hmm. Had you not asked this decision, remember.
Understood. Come on.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tin. So, it's gonna be Jerry, right? His manifest.
Easy.
Huh?
No, nothing like that. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many. For example...
Yes? Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they? Where did they come from?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyan and Shanghua. They work for me. As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. Shanghua is...
That meathead... No.
Shanghua, visit all the...
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Jerry?
Jur-E. Well, obviously as the most promising candidate. Let's go to the dock.
If we're looking for him, he does business at the North Wharf. Maybe he has some news for us.
That's actually not a bad...